All right, the 2022 Lexus LC500. As someone who's owned the LC500, the 2020 LC500 for over a year, I've had plenty of experience with it, and I can safely say it's not only the best car I've ever owned, but it's really the best car, period, that I've experienced out on the street. And again, I've made multiple videos of me talking about the LC, doing reviews, ownership reviews of the car. You can just go watch that. So when I talk about the experience, the noise, the etc., how it makes you feel, the emotions, it's hard for people to grasp that versus a plain old 0 to 60 number. So I understand why people don't get this vehicle, but the few people who have purchased and have experienced this car out on the street, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, many of you people reach out to me through email, through other ways of communication, talking about how you traded in your Porsche or your other ridiculous car to get your hands on an LC500, and you thanked me for all the videos I've done on it, explaining to you what this car is about, and that allowed them to make their purchasing decision. They have not been disappointed. It really is the best street car I've experienced. But once again, let's move past that and let's talk about the 2022. So just a disclaimer, this is not from the US Lexus press media site. This is actually from Japan's press media site. I have been waiting eons for the United States Lexus press media site to be updated to feature the changes for the US spec LC500s. For whatever reason, Toyota and Lexus, they take forever to update this stuff. In fact, we don't even know how much the new 2022 Tundra costs. So, you know, it's just crazy to me how they unveil certain cars for over a month and we don't get certain crucial information, right? Anyways, I went to the Japanese press media site and I found the changes made to the 2022 LC500, so let's get started here. It's much like the 2021 LCs where they've made these quote-unquote handling enhancements. However, really what they've done with the 2021, just to give you some perspective and context, is they made that into a very soft and plush riding vehicle. Some may like it, some may not. Some may like the slightly firmer, more taut feel that the 2020 LC500s have. Others, maybe people who have some back issues or other health issues, may actually prefer the 2021 LC because it still sounds amazing, but it rides like butter. This 2022 has enhanced the suspension and the kinetic performance. You also have a new color called Sonic Iridium, which is just silver. In my opinion, the Atomic Silver is my most favorite silver option that Lexus offers. It's got like this subtle gold hue to it. It's just a very interesting color. This Sonic Iridium is just a regular bland old silver, so that's not really too exciting. The convertibles do get a new blue interior, which I'll talk about later. On the Japanese website, they claim that these are just partial improvements, just subtle things, and on the website, they have said that this is going to be scheduled to go on sale in November or later to Lexus stores nationwide. So since they're using language like that nationwide, we can kind of assume that the changes made here are going to be present in the North American or the United States spec'd LC500s. So okay, let's go into a little bit of a deeper dive with the suspension. So they have tried to improve the ride quality even further, which the 2021 already rode incredibly well. I don't know exactly what they're planning on doing here, but they're continuing to improve the suspension to offer an even more compliant ride. The coil springs, the stabilizers, and the control of the shock absorbers have been adjusted and fine-tuned to increase and improve the ground contact of the tires. They've also improved the linearity of the vehicle response from the steering input and the controllability of the high-turning G region. Vehicles equipped with the Lexus Dynamic Handling Package, those vehicles have also been optimized to achieve better response and a more nimble driving feel and proper vehicle posture, which, again, I've always said this, especially with the 2020 LC that I've owned, you know, that car, it always felt nice, stable, planted. It just always had a great confidence-inspiring feeling. You can always get that thing sideways, get into a drift, and even a novice like myself, you know, I can do all these shenanigans and these stunts in the car, and I never feel like I'm ever gonna wrap the thing around a tree. You understand what I'm saying? It always feels like I have complete control over the automobile. Now, some exterior changes. The convertible models, they're going to be getting this new kind of blue top to kind of match the blue interior that they've kind of introduced here. So that blue and white interior, it's kind of similar to the Blue Inspiration series. This new 2022 convertible interior kind of matches that bespoke interior. And now you have a new blue top to match. However, in 2018, I don't know if some of you viewers remember this, but there was actually a blue, white, and an orange interior. It was a combination of those three colors introduced for the 2018 models, certain 2018 models of the LC. That was only for that one model year, but that was a pretty cool interior spec. It would have been great to see that with the cadmium orange exterior colors of the LC 500. And the cadmium orange is truly my most favorite color for the LC 500. And other changes for the coupe models. This is something that I think many people are going to enjoy seeing. So the 21-inch forged wheels that the LC 500 comes with. On my 2020, we have kind of the chrome and the black finish, right, which I really like. I really love the 21-inch wheels. However, some people don't like it, and some people like to paint the wheels black. Well, now you actually have the option of getting them painted black from the factory. So you can still get them in that kind of polished chrome finish like I have it on my LC 500, but you now also have the option of getting those same wheels painted black. And vehicles equipped with the glass roof are going to have like this new privacy glass, if you will. So that's going to be another new change for the 2022s. But otherwise, that's really it. It's just small, subtle tweaks and changes, right? People who understand this car know that Lexus doesn't really have to change this car all that much. They don't have to make dramatic changes, refreshes, redesigns, especially since nobody buys this thing. Nobody understands it. Nobody wants it. There's only a select few amount of people that care to have a proper driving experience out on the street. Most people, even some of the older gentlemen, women with a lot of money, you know, they just seem to be ordering vehicles like the new Tesla Model S Plaid, right? That's kind of what they're interested in now. The traditional enthusiast is now slowly kind of disappearing, I suppose. Yet despite nobody buying it, there are always people on the internet telling them to, oh, they have to make an LCF with a twin turbo V8 for what? You know, that's going to cost like 200 grand. And even myself, even I'm not excited about a $200,000 Lexus. I'm not excited about a $200,000 anything, really. I love this LC because it comes in at a relatively decent price point. I mean, 100 grand, that's pushing it, but that's kind of the upper echelon limit of what most normal humans can kind of aspire to own. And that's why I really respect this car for the quality, the fit and finish, really the best interior ever made, as well as a phenomenal driving experience and a glorious V8 that's really matched by no other vehicle. So putting a twin turbo V8 in this thing, that's really kind of missing the point. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would be epic, but for a different reason. I'm sure Lexus would tweak and try to get the sound right and get the turbo blow-off sounds and everything, but really, we have an abundance of twin turbocharged V8s that we can opt for, like the BMW M8, right? And also for 200 grand, I would just rather get like a Porsche 911 GT3. You know what I'm saying? A vehicle that's got a manual that's probably more exciting to drive and it's going to go up in value, right? I mean, fuck a $200,000 Lexus at that point. That's just not exciting to me anymore. I'm not like some of these other people where I have to lick a Lexus tailpipe, right? I don't care. You know, whoever makes the best car for a reasonable amount of money, that's who I like and who I support. I don't care about Lexus, you know what I'm saying? They just happen to make one of the best cars, in my opinion. So I'm supporting it. But otherwise, for less money, I mean, you could get something like a Hellcat, a wide body Hellcat, fully loaded with all the options, a leather seat, and have an option to get that thing with a manual or an automatic. You know what I'm saying? So you have options, and a twin turbocharged V8 Lexus for close to 200 grand is not the answer, in my opinion. Keep it the way it is, make the subtle changes. However, there's one thing that I personally wanted to see, and that was an F-Sport trim of the LC500. I thought we would see that here with the 2022, but nope, we did not get that here. You know, I'm just talking about slight, subtle things to enhance its current characteristics, enhance what it already is, and I just want them to maybe give it a new little F-Sport exhaust, slightly louder, maybe tinker with that induction tube, make it a little bit louder, things like that. Just small little things, maybe a little F-Sport carbon fiber body kit nonsense, right? Make it look a little different. Just little small subtle things like that in the form of an F-Sport package. Maybe cost around 115 grand for a coupe version of an F-Sport LC. That's all I wanted to see. I don't even want them to add any more power. The engine is glorious and perfect as it is. It's the perfect amount of horsepower and torque for the streets. The 10-speed automatic transmission reacts perfectly as well. But who knows, maybe for 2023 we can see an F-Sport version, and that may or may not be one of the last model years of the LC. Who knows? It's been out for like, what, 4 or 5 years now, so I can't really see Lexus making this thing for too much longer, because the new EV generation is going to be coming and their new flagship is probably going to be an EV moving forward. So the days that we have with the LC is probably pretty limited. But enough of that. I gave you the actual changes. I'm assuming that's going to be what's coming to the United States, but we'll just have to wait and see. If it's different, I'll just make another video covering it. But thanks again for watching. Take care and goodbye.